button too many times. Hey everybody, what's going on? I do feel better today, although I'm still a little loopy. I had to take a pain pill because my jaw was kicking my ass. So I still feel a little high. So I don't know how sharp I'm gonna be, but I do have some great information to share with you today on day, what is this, day 9 of Video a Day February here on the Debsterism Channel. My name is Deborrah Cooper. I've been advice columnist for almost 3 decades now. And so I have a vast store of information that I can share with you, both personal experiences and experiences of thousands upon thousands of people that I've interacted with over those decades. What we're going to be doing is going over some of the things that I think are at the root of many women's problems. And I'm thinking maybe the older people aren't telling young people to do this. I'm not really sure. I don't know. I don't know what's behind it. All I know is by judging by the advice letters that have been coming in and the questions that are posted on the channel wall, there's a real lack of understanding and of what you should and should not accept from other people, not just romantic partners, but people in work situations and other extended family and that kind of thing as well. But since we primarily talk about romantic relationships here, I'm going to try to kind of frame it within that realm. And I think so many young women, they focus on having a relationship, not a relationship with the right person, not a relationship that's healthy, not a relationship that's rewarding and that makes sense and that's going to meet their needs. And they just want a relationship. And I think when you consider all the letters that have been coming in lately and the drama that these young women are accepting from these boys and men, I'm like, "Well, you all doing too much." Yeah, I can't believe we're already on day 9 of this. It's like the month is going by fast. So let me get started because I think uh, as kind of an introduction, I do want to acknowledge the fact that people have different cultures and different religions and different values and morals and things like that. And all of those things are going to have some impact on what you think is okay to accept in a relationship and what kind of relationship you try to establish for yourself. So I want to put that out there so people think, there's no one way to do this. However, with that said, with all, those little fine nuances over to the side, there are some very strong and firm core values that I think every woman should be looking for in a relationship. And if she does not have those things, I don't care what your religion is and what your other beliefs are, if you don't have these basic core things going on in your relationship, why are you there? I mean, what's the point? That's where I'm coming from. What is the point? And one thing I noticed, I went through, I didn't realize it, but I had posted a question about boundaries and deal breakers way back in 2014 on my Facebook wall. So when I did my search, I was trying to search for the new question I'd asked, and I ran up on that one. I was like, oh, and it had a lot of response. So I clicked that button, and then I could see all the stuff that people had said. So I've extracted it and put it over here too. But one thing I wanted to point out is the tolerance level for some of these girls. Let me tell you what they said. Okay, it's nothing people can't work through. It's about who you're in it with. Nothing, she says. Another one says insecurities and countless other shit, but the majority of it can be worked through. Another one says cheating or lying, everything else can be worked through. Another one says dishonesty and everything that encompasses, but everything else can be worked through. Okay, that's not enough. Okay, those boundaries are that's not enough. And everything else can't be worked through and everything else shouldn't be worked through. There's such a thing as doing too much and accepting bullshit. And when you have such loose boundaries like that, where you don't really have any, cheating and lying, and then everything else can be worked through. Okay, what about if he's beating your ass, molesting your kids, smoking up your money with drugs, selling your shit out your house? I mean, there's so many other things that you have to think about that you should have in your head. If he does or says anything along these lines, it's instantly over. Instantly over. And I know, I mean, Van, that's you. We on the same page there. But I'm telling you, how many of these young women have this idea? I only copied down like four or five of them because it became redundant. I mean, I got it. After a certain point, you just stop copying because it was just too much. It was more and more of the same. But they seem to have this belief that everything it can be worked through and that you have to take all this stuff and go through all these changes just to have a relationship with the man. And I'm like, this is just too much. That was really disturbing to me to see it in print like that with their name there and their little face on the profile, all sitting there saying that. It's like, girl, do you have no boundaries? Do you have no self esteem at all? What in the world are you doing? How do you structure your relationship that loose so the guy has like no standards except for cheating and lying? That's it. That's all you got. Yeah, Queen, you're correct. And but I luckily I have lots of, that was from 2014. Uh, what I have now on my channels are pretty much a new crowd. I went through and cleaned house a couple of years ago, just got rid of a whole bunch of people. So I'm slowly building it back up. I think it's only like, I don't know, 1,400 people on there now. I used to have more than 10,000. But I didn't know who, I didn't even know those people. And a lot of them had some crazy ideas. So I just went along and just did a mass delete and got rid of them. But I wanted to share some of the things that they were saying on the wall. First, let me let me start by telling you I found this post where people thought that they were with a normal person until they moved in together or got married. These are the craziest things that I've ever heard in my life. All right, so this one woman says, we dated off and on for 5 months. We spent most of the time out. Home time was Netflix on TV series we both liked. Great times, and I thought I had found the one. Once she moved in, it was 14 hours a day of political news and opinion shows, which would break into every conversation we had about any subject. The entire DVR is filled with weeks with CNN and MSNBC politics shows. Delete one to make room for something, and she knew within a few hours. It was creepy, obsessive. She kept a notebook with TV schedules of these shows, with tightly planned viewing times and recordings to maximize being able to watch and record it all. There was no hint of this when I asked her to move in. We agreed on most political issues, so it's not something I want to discuss often. So glad when she moved out. It was frustrating to have to cringe every time you speak a sentence because you know her next words are going to be, I know you don't like politics, but. Okay, so that was from a guy, but I thought I would share that because in women's thing, a lot of times it's the same situation, but it's about sports stuff with their guys. All right. This woman says, I didn't know he was moving in. He was a friend's roommate when we met, but one night he came over and just never left. I asked my friend about it, and they had kicked him out for being an alcoholic, screaming at 2 a.m. and urinating in the neighbor's yard. When he came back from work, I had his bag packed and told him to get the fuck out. Another one says, this guy I was dating was gay. I found out he was gay, and he wanted to regularly have sex with my father. This one was held in until we got married. Nope, get the fuck out, she says. Can you imagine? He's marrying you, but he's having fantasies about your daddy. See, that would mess me up. I'm sorry, y'all. That would just mess me up. This woman talks about her boyfriend's penchant for throwing tuna cans when he got angry. He had to pay for a dent he left in a metal closet door when our lease was up. He was happy to pay though because the cat because I can't miss my head by millimeters. He lied about everything. We started out long distance. This was in the mid 90s before everybody was online. After a lot of phone calls and letters and everything, we finally met in real life when he came to visit me. First lie, he looked nothing like he described. Okay, I can forgive that. See? No, you don't forgive that. Secondly, we ended up getting our own place and he just kept piling up lies. He talked me into going out to California where his family was. Here are some things he lied about: his real name, his brother being a half brother, his past relationships, his family's living conditions. And he got away with all this lying because English was his family's second language and they never spoke it at home. I was always in the dark. Even if one of them wanted to say something to me, they said to him, and he'd have to translate. They could all speak English, but they wouldn't talk to me. It was a hard lesson, but luckily I learned it as a teenager, and it taught me a lot about what red flags to look out for. Wow. And so they go on and on. Oh, here's one I thought would be interesting. A female friend of mine moved in with a guy who seemed totally normal. Then a large delivery of adult sized diapers arrived. She stuck with it. Then he insisted on wearing them, and she stuck with it. He insisted on pissing in them and getting her to change it. Dear Deb, she stuck with it. She had a hip replacement and couldn't get upstairs quickly enough to meet his demands, and the whole thing fell apart. What some women will put up with. So, those are just some of the stories that I found online where women, to me, the first inkling, the first violation of what should have been some very firm boundaries and deal breakers, they just kept rolling with it. I mean, okay, you got an adult man with no kids and he has no parents that he's taking care of, no senior. I mean, they get incontinent and they wear adult diapers. So that's not the situation, but he gets a shipment of adult diapers and you don't think there's something wrong with that? That you don't ask no questions? And then he want to start wearing them. Okay, once he decided to put that on, I would have been out the door. Yeah, a whole case of them. A whole case of them. So, I mean, these are just humorous stories that like I said, I found when people were sharing their deal breakers, and I thought they were pretty funny, so I wanted to share them with you. But I'm thinking, it shouldn't be that. I mean, ladies, what's your limits here? What is it that you know that you absolutely are not going to take? Now, we're going to divide this into two parts. Okay, there's a part when you first meet somebody, right? You first meet them, you're just, in an exploratory dating phase where you're trying to decide, is this going to become a relationship? Am I going to keep seeing this person? I'm going to sleep with him? Is this going to be something that, we do this for a few months or whatever? And then there's like, okay, you've already gotten past that, and now you're in the relationship part. So he made the cut for all of those things, but now you're in the quote relationship part. What are your deal breakers now? There should always be some, and they're going to be different for different levels of involvement. You can't just have one or two things. It has to be appropriate to the level of relationship that the two of you have. So let's go over some of the things that people shared that were there on their list of deal breakers. And I think these are some good, really good ones. Now I want you guys, as you hear these, to think about them. I'm not sure, I haven't asked. I don't know who has a list of deal breakers and who is curious about how to have a deal breaker. And some of the people listening may not even know what a deal breaker is. But listening to this list of what some other women have established as deal breakers for themselves may help you. I'm thinking if you can reflect on relationships that you've been in the past that went sour, went left, fell apart, whatever, and you notice a pattern of behavior that you tend to not put the brakes on, you tend to accept, you just roll with it, you ignore it or whatever, then it might be time for you to take a realistic look at yourself and start establishing some deal breakers. Have some things where if he does this, if he says that, if this happens, whatever, I'm out. This is over, and you need to be very clear on that. All right, so let's talk about. This one woman says, Jennifer says, between it's a toss up between cheating and lying. Okay, cheating and lying should be on both lists, on the just met them list and the I've already been in a relationship with you for months or years list. Cheating and lying should be on both. All right. Pressuring me to do something that I'm not comfortable with. That's very important. Does he respect your boundaries? Does he respect your no? Does he respect your desire to not do something that you think is going to be painful or injurious to your body or to your money or to your property, to your reputation? Any of those things. Wait, what? Why do I read the chat? I looked up just in time to see what Queen wrote. I'm not going to repeat it, but if you just look at the chat and you can see it. You sped off in your car, girl. Did you pop a wheelie? Yeah, see, no. And there were probably some women who, would be fine with that. But obviously, you and I are on that page and we're not. I would know that would have definitely been the end of that. If you're not realistic, you're waiting on a unicorn. Well, yeah, but some of these women have no, they don't have a unicorn. They're just, anybody will do. And that's what I'm trying to get them to stop doing because then, they're having these relationships and they're getting involved with these people that take their money, take advantage of them, and molest their children and take their money and degrade and berate them and demean them and beat on them. And or they have children by these knuckleheads who makes their lives miserable. And these, when you saw warning signs, but you didn't really pay attention to what you were doing, and you didn't put the brakes on in time to extricate yourself from that situation. You can't go through life thinking, oh, I have to have a relationship, and you just take anything. It has to be a relationship that has quality, where the man is about something, about his grind and about his business, where you guys are on the same page. You got to have that kind of man, otherwise you're going to be miserable. Just having a relationship, quote, a relationship like anything is that's not the goal here. All right. Yeah, a lot of women said cheating, lying, abusive. Joblessness is one. Uneducated, cruel, bad understanding, isn't motivated, rude and arrogant, or smells bad. Yes, hygiene came up quite a bit as I looked through the list. Hygiene came up a lot. But then again, okay, now we're all adults here, right? We know how to wash our ass, brush our teeth, floss, all this stuff, right? So this one girl comes back and says, well, as for smelling bad, couldn't you just tell him that he smells bad instead? Why do you have to leave the relationship? What, am I his mother now? You gotta like baby this man and tell him, oh, little child, you need to wash your ass because you stink. You have to tell a grown man that? I mean, I can see if he was just, doing some like outside work, bricklaying or something, and his deodorant started failing midday in that 80-degree heat, and he's working outside. Okay, you just go straight to the bathroom as you pass by with your little wafting scents. Go to the bathroom and wash that off. Okay, most dudes, you're not gonna have to tell them that they're gonna go, babe. I'm smell. Don't I'll check you when I get out. Change clothes and wash up and stuff. Okay, they like this at you as they keep going by. You don't have to tell him to wash his ass. If you got a man who's in his 20s, 30s, 40s, then you got to tell him to wash his ass. What kind? You have a big baby and he's unsanitary. And he's gonna have grunge on his fingers. He be trying to put his fingers in your intimate areas when he's a nasty pig. No. And you wonder why you be having all kind of infections and yeast things happening from his nasty ass. I don't think so. You got to pay attention to the things that you see and don't ignore the signs and the red flags. I cannot say this enough. You got a lot of, you see them, you write into the advice column. So it's obvious that you're aware that this is wrong, that this is bad for you, that this is a problem. You know it's a problem. You write the letter to seeking advice about it. But why don't you have this already in your mind that this is something that I should not tolerate? This is something that goes against everything that I stand for in a partnership. This is hurting me. This is not building. This is like damaging things. I mean, why can't you have those kind of things in your mind without having to write? I mean, I don't mind you writing me to trust. That's not my point. My point is you shouldn't need some validation from an outside source to tell you what you shouldn't be taking from a man. That's supposed to be coming from you. What's SS talking about? I don't know. These people, I mean, at some point, you guys have to take charge of your own lives. And I understand that a lot of you haven't been given these kinds of instructions and guidelines and told how to properly manage your relationships in your life as an adult woman. I get it. A lot of young women went in through foster homes. They didn't have anybody talking to them and telling much of anything. Group homes, that kind of thing. Parents was on drugs. They pretty much raised themselves and their younger siblings too. No adult was around teaching them much of anything. They knew, how the basics of cooking and cleaning and stuff. But I'm talking about life skills. They don't have those. So that's why I do these. I mean, a lot of people feel like these kind of things are kind of rudimentary and repetitive, and everybody already knows this stuff. But it's obvious because of the letters that come in, and like I said, the comments on the wall. It's like everybody doesn't know this, and so we have to teach them. Yeah, that's what women be getting infections, and then they be having all kind of gum disease and shit, and want to be kissing you and putting their mouth on other areas, and then the next thing you know, you got like coochie rot and whatnot. Oh no, 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 no. I be looking at a motherfucker's teeth. You know, I'm all in. That's why I spent all day at the dentist yesterday. Shoot, I'm to be looking at my own teeth. Like, nah, this don't look right. Let us go to the dentist. Okay, so let's see. I think the key here is not to settle, ladies. It's not to settle. And a lot of you are afraid. You're like, well, I don't want to be alone. Well, do you want to be tortured? I mean, is that your option? You either be by yourself and, enjoying your life and doing stuff that's going to enrich your life, or you're in some torturous relationship with a man who's making you stressed out. You're aging early. Your hair's falling out. You're gaining weight. Your skin's all fucked up. Your money's all fucked up. Your self esteem is all fucked up. And you're still lonely. And you got STDs. And you just stressed the fuck out just because you can't let go of a fool. You know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to not name all the diseases that you can get from dirty, nasty ass men, but everybody who's a mature woman already knows what I'm talking about. So I don't need to mention the names. But let's go over some more of these listens. Yeah, nasty. And when they don't floss, a lot of people don't floss. They might floss once a week. And then when they floss, their gums be bleeding. No, no, no. In that blood is HIV and who knows what else. No, don't even look at me. Stay over there somewhere. I need like a 6 foot radius because whatever's on you might try to jump off on me. No. Mm-mm. Okay, let's talk about some more things that women deal with and shouldn't because it shows marked disrespect. It shows a real lack of interest in you as a person. It's just him just want to get his dick wet. Okay. Criminal activity. That's one. And how about when they bring up sex? Okay, you just talking to him on the phone, or you on an early date, and somehow he got to work something in it about his dick. Or worse yet, some women say that they be sending them dick pictures. You gave a guy your number, and the next thing you know, he's sending you a dick pic. Okay, what is that? What is that? Why would you even entertain somebody who came at you like that? That should be an immediate delete and block. No further conversation, no goodbye, no questions about it. Like, why did you send me that? What's wrong with you? No, 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 because he wants that. He wants attention. You just delete the image and then you block the sender. That's all you do. All right. How about let me, that was my list. My list is so long, it's not even funny. Should I read it? because this is from 2014 in a thread that I did. And it says, I went through my mental Rolodex of the dudes I rejected after just one date or a date and a few phone calls. These are the things that came to mind from past experience. My brothers call me the one date wonder. Stupid conversation, bringing up sex on early dates or on the phone, showing up late for the date, poor grooming slash hygiene, the full court press, what some people call, what's that new term they call it? Love bombing. I always call it the full court press. Inappropriately personal conversation. He wants kids. Poor table manners. Referring to women as bitches or hoes. Going by some damn hotep name. Religious and say anything to me about what the Bible says I need to do. Talking about his ex. Cheapness. Distastefully arrogant. Rude to wait staff or parking attendants. Trying to get an invitation to my house instead of taking me out. Having more than one baby mama or ex wife. Fucked up teeth. Living with his mama or a baby mama or a grandmother. Can't remember the last book he read. Bad kisser. Drama with an ex that seeps into the time that he spends with me. No hobbies, no interests except TV, sports, or shit talking. Dresses like a rapper or a teenager in jerseys and hats and sneakers. General ignorance and a lack of couth. That was my list. That's the shit that will get you immediately dismissed. Plus, there's a bunch more. Another one that I think, and I talk about it all the time. I don't like accents, okay? So you come up to me, some dude come up to me, hello, what is your name? Oh, 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 oh. Don't talk to me. Get away from me. I also cannot stand them dudes. You know them dudes that have them like rolls on the back of their neck, look like a pack of hot dogs? I don't like that either. You come at me with that, your ass better wear a turtleneck so I don't see it. But if you turn and I see them little rolls of meat, see, no. We just keep it moving, brother. I can't do it. I can't do it. Well, I'm too old for men to be sagging. I'm too old for that. But for you younger people, that definitely would be an issue because that is how these, even into their 30s, be trying to dress. Pull your fucking pants up. You look like a fool. You know. Yeah, no Africans. No, 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 no. Then men, I'm telling you, they got an accent. I'm out. I can't do it. I also don't like dudes like you roll up to dudes and they have them tweezed eyebrows and they got arched eyebrows and shit. No, what's wrong with you? That got that female impersonator thing looking. No, I don't want to be confused about your sexuality. So if I have questions because of your eyebrows or your lips like this, and you a dude, no. Okay, what you really doing with your lips? I don't want to have to doubt, look at it. Another thing that bothers me is when you first meet a dude and they start talking about, well, when you gonna cook for me? How about never, motherfucker? Never. I don't like that shit. See, that immediately dismissed. Immediately. I mean, with no questions asked. I will cook when I get ready. You're not gonna be trying to just wrangle your way into a free meal at my house. All close to the bedroom and stuff. Yeah, trying to get to your house. But see, a lot of women go for this stuff. The guy want to say, "Well, come over," and they go, or he wants to come over to the house. They let him come. So see what I'm saying. But what is it that you hope to get out of a situation like that? You have set the bar so low for this man to get your attention and have access to you. He didn't even have to do anything. Just show up, and a lot of you even go pick him up. He don't even have to figure out how to get to your house. You go pick him up in your car. Oh, scrub ass motherfucker don't have a car. Sitting up there, I'm like, you better get you. Know they had these little things out here. I don't know if they had these everywhere. There's a company that had these like little motorized scooter things, and it's like a skateboard at the bottom, but it's got tall handles with the brakes and stuff, and they have them all over Oakland and San Francisco. And you just put your credit card in there or something, and it goes for however. I think you buy an hour at a time or whatever. And so they're everywhere. They're just like all over the city, everywhere. And so you just think about it, it's like nigga, you want to get to my house, you better get you one of them little green go kart looking things and make the magic happen. I'm not picking up no man ever. Not doing it. Or if they ask, can you cook? Oh, I can do a lot of things. Now, what did that just do? Did I answer his question? No. That's one of the things I'm going to be teaching you guys about maintaining an air of mystery when we have this later next week. Y'all be talking too much. You be telling men too much information. You have to learn how to play their games right back at them. When you ask them a question, they don't never give you a direct answer. Y'all need to learn how to do that. I am a master at it, so I will share some of my tips with you. Yeah, you could Uber, Lyft, walk, hitchhike, get on a dog sled. I mean, I don't care how you make it happen. Just you. Bus passes work too. You know what I mean? And they do still have things called taxis. Ubers and Lyfts are cheaper, but they still have taxis. This one lady says she dumped a dude because he was a Republican and treated wait staff like peasants. Another I dumped because he tried to do sexual things on the first date. Awkward, awkward, awkward. And this woman, Kat, she's like, I have a list. I always get messed with about it. No job, jail issues. See, oh yeah, that's another one. Drugs and or alcohol, multiple baby mamas, not trying to take responsibility for any of his actions, blames everybody else for his problems, angers easily, talks about and is proud of violence and violent actions, calls all his exes crazy. He's broke. He's a government conspiracy theorist. Uses the Lord as a reason to act and talk crazy. No marketable skills. General bitch assedness. No respect for women and girls, as children or animals. One who throws around percentages and facts to one up you every chance he gets. No loyalty. Family is not a priority. And selfishness. I have a whole nother list of dealing with men with small children. Oh Lord. Well, let's not even go there. So I'm hoping, these things, I'm not saying you guys have to have all of these, but what I'm doing is just reading off some of what other women have found helpful in screening men out of their life so they feel like they're not wasting their time. And so these are ideas for you to consider, especially if you found yourself in a situation with men like these and you just kept messing with them anyway to your own detriment. Oh, yeah, road rage. Well, I can't say too much about that because I have it all. I have it myself. Not like I'm trying to chase anybody down the road or anything, but I'll be like, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, I get pretty emotional about my driving. Um, Overly religious, blame shift. See how much that keeps coming up? Irresponsible, a mama's boy, poor grammar, can't think for himself, no ambition, doesn't follow through, lies, poor hygiene, bad teeth or breath, poor health. See all of those things. She's more into the second phase after you've already started dating them. Call yourself into a relationship. That's when these things would be noticeable. You probably wouldn't see these at the very first, um, when you first started dating him. You would have to be in a situation where you were around him more, um, talking about life plans and work relationships and work goals and things like that. That's when you would see these things come out. Road rage. You have to wear prescription dark lenses due to an injury if the subject comes up. How do I handle it? You mean even you have to wear them even indoors? 90% of black men, well, hey, that's my thing. It's like because when you just accept them with bullshit, when do they ever find motivation to do better? It's like I said last night. It's part of that participation trophy mentality. They gonna still get some pussy and some time and attention and a woman and some kids and everything anyway. And if they don't do anything to deserve it, and y'all are giving that to them, you know, you're giving it to them. I wouldn't give a motherfucker shit. You don't meet my standards, and that's all you need to know. You don't meet them, and so bye bye. I don't know, something like that with the glasses and stuff. It just say, I have an eye condition and I have to wear these dark glasses. Or you could, and make it more entertaining and say, because I really worked with what was it? What was them dudes that movie? Eight the Men in Black. I work with the Men in Black, so I have to wear these. I don't know. You can make up some silly bullshit. You know what I mean? You don't have to tell them the truth. I mean, if you can, if you want to. But knowing me, I would probably make up some fantabulous story that made it sound, so he would know I was lying and wasn't telling the real story. But it would be so entertaining. He would get the hint. Well, I guess she ain't gonna tell me why she has to wear those because it's really none of his fucking business. Exactly. Yeah, it's not, they be no wanting to know too fucking much. It's like, what you need? Worry about what's on your face. Do something about that ugliness. I could take these glasses off. You can't take that ugly ass mug off. Okay, stuck up their mama's ass or mama's boys. That's come up several different times. Too many kids, too many baby mamas, too religious, unemployed, homophobic. Oh, that's an interesting one. Poor grammar and those long string looking balls. I don't know these people. These are my Facebook friends. I don't know. Who has long string looking balls? I just have never heard of such a thing. Being too sexually aggressive. Also bugging me to cook shit from scratch every day. In college, she says, I had a guy tell me that since the ratio of guys to girls was so off balance, I should just get used to sharing him. Ah, I don't know. I just don't like telling men stuff. It's like the more they want to know, the less I want to tell them. It's just like they have this contrary nature. It's like, ugh, don't ask me nothing. If I wanted you to know something about me, I would tell you. Yeah. Make sure their kids aren't meth heads. Oh no, that's an instant out. I don't even like people that smoke weed. You got that weed smell wafting off of you. I'm out. Older men get saggy balls. Yuck. I think I'm grossed out now. Oh, yeah, I agree. You tell them too not too much. Okay, here's some more ideas. No manners, no respect. That's come up again. Poor hygiene. That's come up again. Um, she says uncircumcised. Yeah, that's not my favorite either. I don't like how that looks. Being short. She's 5'10", so that's important to her. Unemployed, no car or house, drug problems. He's cheap, doesn't know how to dress appropriately, and the list goes on. Splitting everything down the middle. Tacky presents. Emotionally unavailable. Doesn't get social cues. All this Aspergery people. Racist parents, siblings, or friends. Overly critical. Jealous or possessive. Picking out my clothes. Too opinionated about women's hair, makeup, and lingerie. Not working on an advanced degree but still lives with parents over the age of 30. Not living in the moment. Hmm. No close male friendships. Too many close female friends. Lives on social media. Wow. No wealth building. Didn't bother to make connections and network when he had a job. Now he's unemployed and has no prospects. Oh, wow. She got a long list. Okay, feeling entitled to my body. Demanding stuff like my attention. Asking for sex too soon. Bragging about how educated and successful he is. Aggressive men. Okay, these are good. So these are hopefully these will give you some ideas about what you could put on your list and consider as you start dating men. When you meet them, you have to have some kind of way to screen them. And just saying, well, he's he cheats and lies and everything else is okay with you, that's not enough. You're going to get yourself really caught up in some really stupid and crazy situations with some stupid and crazy men. You better have more screening standards than that. Sounds like the Southern California Dusties, girl. They up in here too. They just as dusty up here. Ooh, these Oakland Dusties are a special breed. They are special, super special. Yeah, I don't like these. I don't like these dudes that are, the Bible thumpers, any kind of religious freak. Whereas that's me, though. Some women are looking for a quote God fearing man. So see, that's what I'm saying. You have to determine what works for you. But there are certain standard, basic, foundational things like being responsible, not being violent towards you, being a respectable person, having goals and things. Anyway, I have a list of 12 things. I'll go over them in a little bit and uh, and talk to you about those. So that is pretty. That's pretty. Those things are important. Also, if you're in a relationship, you should notice how your man handles money. So remember, we divided this into two parts. There's the just met him part where you screen to see if you're going to continue to date him, and then there's the part after you've already made the decision and you're in the quote relationship part now. You two agree that you're going to see each other. So you're in a relationship. Noticing how he handles money and his responsibilities, his fiscal responsibilities, is very, very important. If he always is borrowing money from people, doing payday loans, he don't never have no money, he don't have no money saved up, he's in debt up to his ass. These are things that you might want to reconsider, because if you move forward and marry this man, he got back child support payments, all this kind of stuff. Once you decide to marry him, then his debts are going to become yours. You guys got joint checking accounts and stuff. If the IRS decides to roll on through and put a shit on lockdown, they're not going to separate out the pennies as yours. They're just going to put the whole account on lock. That's how they do. And with a guy who is not fiscally responsible, that means all the responsibility for money management is going to fall on your shoulders. If that's something you like to do, I mean, maybe accounting is your career, or you're a bookkeeper, or you're some other kind of person who handles finances. And that's part of what you do as a career choice. You really love it. You don't mind doing it at home as well as at work. Well, then that would work for you. But since you consider that money problems are the top reason for people to divorce, that's something to consider. If you're looking at this man being a husband and father to you, you need to think about that. You see it in your family sometimes. I'm trying to tell you. So I'm hoping that this gives you $100,000 in debt. I would just want to die if I had that kind of. I don't like debt. I'm that kind, like, if I have to make a big purchase on my credit card, and I don't know, just say $700 or $800. Well, by the time I get home, I'm on my bank thing transferring money from my savings account, to pay it. I hate looking at just thinking I'm gonna have this like debt hanging over my head, and we talking less than $1,000, and I just be flipping out. That's why I don't want to have a car note, because that's what 20 grand just for a vehicle. No, I think I'm gonna get my next car at an auction or something. I'm gonna just pay cash for it. So I don't want to have a car note. I just do not. That just makes me feel like screaming and ripping all my hair out. All right, so here are my list, my 12 things that I think that women should consider when you're um this is more for when he's already made it past the initial dating part, because we talked about all of those already. Now what let's I'm moving into the relationship issues. And these are I didn't want to keep you here forever and a day, so I only wrote down 12. Of course there's way more than that, but these are some that should get you on the path to really thinking about the men that you let get that close to you and get that deeply ingrained into your life, okay? Number 1, you have a man that doesn't really take an interest in your life. Now, this is a big umbrella. What does that mean? That means when you have something that's important to you, like you're taking a class, uh, you're going to do, I don't know, some kind of performance because you're into dance or music or art or something, and or you need, I don't know, whatever. I don't. You need some kind of special books or some kind of special program or something. Okay, a guy who's interested in you and what you're doing is going to go out of his way to help you be a success at that thing. He's gonna like if he's out somewhere, he knows you need this book and you've been looking for it, and he just happened to fall into a bookstore and there's the book that you've been trying to find. It was back ordered on Amazon and all stuff, and there it is right there. He's gonna call you and say, "Babe, I see this book you looking for and stuff. I'm gonna bring it home with me, okay? So just chill out. You can start studying tonight. Click, pick up the book, pay for the book, bring you the book. That kind of thing. He knows you know you need a new brush for your art project or whatever. You have some glue, you need a new canvas. What he's gonna pick it up for you. He's gonna make sure you have what you need to be successful. He's your cheerleader. Okay, but then the opposite of that is a guy who's just no he's not interested at all in anything that you do. He don't want to hear it. You start talking about it, he shuts down. He just turns off. It's like, oh, that's just boring to me. Or he just walks out the room. I mean, he makes it very clear that what makes you happy and excited isn't at all interested in. Is like too much for him to be bothered with. Okay, how does that make you feel? I mean, you're going to go on, you're going to still do what you're going to do and be the person you're going to be, but how much nicer would it be if you knew that your partner was on your team? Instead, you're sitting there and you got to do all of this stuff by yourself, or your girls got to help you, your mama or your sister and stuff, and your man is just sitting there snarling at you and talking about, well, why you have all this paint junk everywhere. I can't even do nothing in here with all your shit everywhere. So it's something to think about, you know. Well, I mean, they may not go to the extreme that I stated, but they're going to be there. If at least show up at your performances and clap for you or watch you. I mean, there was a commercial I remember seeing where there's this, and it was a black dad and his little girl. She looked to be about maybe 7 or 8 in the commercial, and he was in the courtyard of their apartment building practicing her cheers with her. So he had pom poms and she had pom poms, and he was doing all the moves with her and everything, right? So that she had her little cheerleader uniform on, and her daddy was helping her with her cheers. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. It didn't cost him any money. It cost him some time, but that's his efforts were helping to make his baby successful. So your man should be offering to do the same for you. That's what I'm saying. If he's taking an interest in what's going on in your life, he wants to know who your friends are. He wants to know things that are important to you. He wants to enjoy conversations with you about the books that you read that you enjoy and stuff like that. I mean, it's just different when you're in a relationship by yourself and you feel really lonely. It's because usually it's this kind of stuff. He's not really taking an interest in what you're talking about. You saw that commercial? Wasn't that cute? That was just the most cutest thing ever. Okay, number 2. Just remember, this is my list of 12 foundational things that I think are important for you to consider if you're in the relationship stage. It's an early relationship, not like a long-term marriage and stuff. Well, I hope you already ironed all this stuff out. But you're in the early relationship phase. You're still kind of feeling each other out, and there's still some hurdles to go over. You have to be, testing this guy and seeing where he's coming from to see if you should continue in the relationship or if it should be abandoned. So that was number 1 is, he has to take an interest in your life and what's important to you. If he doesn't, you have an issue. Number 2, he lies to you or he cheats on you. Now, every couple has to set the boundaries that are important to them. But if you have a guy who lies to you, and basically what he's doing is creating a false reality, he's basically manipulating you by telling you things that are not true or by leaving out details of things that, with if you had all of that information, you would make a different choice and a different decision. But in order to get you to do what he wants you to do, he leaves all of that out. So you only have part of the picture, or you have a false picture. And so you are doing what he wants you to do based on the information that you have, which is incomplete. Okay, keep that in mind. Lies are a lot bigger than what women think they are. You have to look at what happens when he lies to you. It's not just that he lied, what happened after that based on the lie. And then when he cheats, of course, that's a lie too, because he lied and said that he would be only with you. There's a certain element of trust there. That trust has now been violated. Not to mention, it may be a health issue, health concerns as well. So that is at the core of any relationship. If you can't trust your man to implicitly with the truth and to be a man of his word and follow through doing what he said he's going to do, be the man he said he's going to be, then what do you have? What is the point of being there with him? Running around trying to fill in the blanks and, make plan B and C and D in case he falls through. And I see women go through all these kind of conniptions just to stay with a man. And he ain't shit. He's a piece of shit. And you are essentially in the relationship by yourself. You're playing both roles. And he just sitting on his ass doing whatever he pleases. And you're not, he's suffering no repercussions because you're still in the relationship anyway. Though he lies and cheats and manipulates and games on you and, tricks you and does all this stuff to you to live a false reality, and you still stay with him anyway. And the motherfucker's a liar. And the motherfucker's a cheater. And yet you stay. Number three, they don't have a job or any viable source of income, because not everybody has a job. Sometimes they have a business. And they don't really seem to be too bothered about getting one. Now, I know some women are like, well, I make enough money for both of us. That's not the point. That's taking care of a grown man like he's a child. Grown men need to work. Grown men need to earn their own money. That's part of being a man. If you have some alleged man sitting on his ass, he ain't doing nothing, he driving your car, you buying him clothes, feeding him, putting a roof over his head and stuff like that, you're a dummy, and he is a user and a pimp. That's what you got. You don't have no kind of relationship of peers with mutual respect. You have like a mommy baby situation. That's some sick stuff when you really get down to looking at it. And what kind of man can feel good about himself as a man, knowing that he's just a little bitch and's got women taking care of him like that, like he's a toddler and that you his mama? And it's like, how can you feel hot and bothered about somebody who is being treated like a child? See, that means you got some like incest, child molesting kind of things going on there. You can't have passionate adult passion for a man who's not being an adult. And it's like, I don't understand that. Yeah, he's a bum, a dusty bum, just a stupid. I'm just like, he got to go. All right, let's move on to number four. He's a rude and impolite jerk. Now, that doesn't always necessarily mean he's rude and impolite to you, but you see him be rude and impolite to other people too. Anybody who he feels is beneath him, that's the key. This might be waiters, it might be little children, it might be parking lot attendants, it might be bus drivers, cab drivers, people, shoe shine people. I mean, it could be anybody, anybody. But if he feels like that person doesn't have as much money, education, or power or influence as he does, and he feels like that person beneath him, and he talks to them like they have a tail, that's very telling about your man. And trust me, even if he hasn't talked to you like that yet, it's coming. It's coming, and don't say nothing when it does, because you would have witnessed him doing that, showing what kind of fool he is already, and you stayed with him anyway. This is just terrible. It's like, and it reminds me, this one I went to this party with this guy one time, right? And I think it was his fraternity or some, I don't know, some organization that he was a part of, right? And he invited me to go to this event with him. So I could go with him. Okay, now I came with him. I don't know these people. I'm there with him. Let me tell you what he did and what made me get up and walk out. So we go in, and we're going around the room, and he's saying hello to people. By the time we met the third person, and he still had not introduced me to anybody. It was like I'm just an appendage. I'm like, okay, what is this? I'm sitting there and I'm looking at him, and first of all, I'm trying to figure out the first time you think, oh, he just, was flustered and forgot. Because we had just got there, we were running late, and he was flustered. Okay, so I let that go. But 2 minutes later, here comes somebody else, and he's talking to them. And by now, the flustery feeling is gone. We there, we were a little bit late, but it not no big. And he still didn't introduce me. And then by the time the third person, I'm gonna go to the restroom, and I went to the restroom. Then I called a cab, and I went and took my happy ass home. You're not gonna do me like that. I don't know what kind of game that was that he was trying to play, but whatever it was, he got to play it without me. That's all I'm gonna tell you. But every woman I told that to was like, "Well, why did you leave? That's no big deal." It was a big deal to me. You brought me. You got about my bed and got my hair done and everything to go to this fucking event with you, and that's how you think you're gonna do me, and I'm gonna be okay with that? No, that was not okay. All right. Number five, they are terrible with money. This could be they have a lot of bounce checks, count always overdrawn, or they don't pay stuff on time. They always juggling money, or like I said, they making them pay their advance loans, borrowing money from people. They don't pay any back. They hawk up to their neck, pawning stuff to get money, all that kind of stuff. So see, those are some very interesting financial issues that you need to pay attention to. I'm like, no, let's not do this. That doesn't sound right. So you have to think about that. And then that same coin is the cheapness thing because they're like trying to be a Scrooge with money when it comes time to spend money when you really should for something that's quality or to replace something that's broken or something important. They don't want to do it. And this dude was driving around and he had like some bald ass tires. Now I always get my tires at Costco, and they're less expensive, and I like Michelin's. That's all I like. I don't want nothing else on my car. I want some Michelin. So I go to Costco, I get the Michelin's, I pay the $500, and then that's just it. That's what I do. So he had these bald ass tires, and I'm like, you need some tires. Oh well, I'm just gonna wait until these wear out. I'm like, by law in California, you know how you take a penny and the wait, or is it a nickel? But anyway, whatever I think it's a nickel. And you suppose that space that's between the edge and the head of the president, that is if it goes below that, then you're supposed to get new tires because now your tread is gone. You're at risk of hydroplaning and not being able to grip the road if there's any dampness on it. You have to stop suddenly. You don't have enough rubber to grip the road. And he thought I was gonna get in that bald ass tire fucking car. I was like, nah, I'm not going with you. I'll meet you there. And there you go. I got in my car, my Honda with my brand new Michelin's and drove and met him over there. I wasn't getting in that death trap. No, you kill yourself. You ain't killing me. So things like that, you have to think about, there's two ends. One that's overspends and is in debt up to his neck, and the other end is where they don't want to spend a dime, and so there's like all kind of weird stuff going on. It's just shit's broken. They need tires. Car has got like wire and shit on it and stuff like that. Where they like stockpile their money. So there's two ends of the spectrum there, and both of them are bad with money. Number six, you find that you're sacrificing your personal or professional goals be to meet his needs or his demands or something about that relationship. So you're giving up what you want because of the relationship. You're giving up what you like and want to be or what you want to gain or where you want to go and travel and experiences and education and classes and all that stuff because he doesn't like it. Because, what about us? Now keep in mind, you dating this motherfucker, okay? Everybody be well, that's my man. You're dating. We're talking. This is the early dating phase. This is not your husband. It's not your fiance. It's nobody. You just met this motherfucker, and you're changing your life to meet his demands because that's what he likes. That's what he wants. This is a very dangerous thing for you to do. No woman should ever sacrifice her dreams and her goals and what she wants for herself in her life for a man or a relationship. And if you have a man who's trying to do that to you, understand he's trying to keep you down. He doesn't want you to rise up. He doesn't want you to live your best life. He wants you to do, he wants to assign you what he wants you to have, and so many dumb women fall for it. Well, my man, he don't really like it when I do that. He don't want me to do that because then I'll be making more money than him, and that's he that will emasculate him. Yeah, right. Well, yeah, the cash stash of cash and a special account. Thank you, Rena. Rena, so you're so generous. Rena, you don't stop giving me money. She just like just about every chat, she buy me wine and all. I mean, I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. Don't. Let me not be an ungrateful person. But I think you've done enough, girlfriend. Okay, I get it. You appreciate me. I love you right back. That's okay. No more from Rena. Rena got me drunk a couple of times and she didn't even know because I for sure went and got me some wine right after the show. So, but anyway, thank you. Thank you, Rena. So, you guys, this is very important, especially for you young girls. Don't neglect what it is you're trying to do for yourself and put your stuff on hold. And this includes stopping your rapidly forward moving train to breed a damn baby. Okay, you don't need no fucking baby by some knickknock that you're not married to. You don't do that to yourself. Right in the middle of you trying to strive and achieve greatness, you just derail your train to breed a baby for some trifling two-bit piece of shit. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. That is the worst thing that you could ever do. Let me see, my chat box got stuck. Okay. Yes, she's a sweetie. She is a sweetie. I know. I know, and I know you appreciate it, and I get it. I get it. Girl, you know that's how they be talking, Miss Full Roller. You know that's how that's my baby daddy. That's how they talk. I hear them on these videos and stuff. I'm good at imitating people, and I will sit there and I'll like, I record it, and then the next thing you know, I'm talking just like them. I love to mock people. All right, number 7. And this is important if you're thinking about this relationship for long term. You guys have different viewpoints when it comes to family and children. Okay, family and children, you're not on the same page. Let's just say you want to have children, but you want to have them after you finish school and do all the stuff, right? And he decides he doesn't want children at all. Or he wants children now. He wants you to stop doing what you're doing and have children now before you get too old and not married either. Or you have certain values, like say in your family, higher education is a goal that everyone meets. It is expected of you. No one in your family has less than a master's degree. And this guy barely has a high school diploma and really sees no value in any further education. So you two have different values, and if he's adamant about his position and you're adamant about yours and there's no compromise there, then that's going to pose a problem. If you got together and had children and you're trying to push your children to have a higher education and meet the values that your family has established, and in his family everybody got a GED or barely got a high school diploma, so he sees no value in it, he's going to be contradicting what you tell your children because of his values, and you need to be on the same page. When you're parenting, you have to be on the same page. It may even be a kind of thing where you're close to your family, you spend a lot of time with them on holidays or whatever. He never sees his, they don't have Christmas together, they don't really do anything together. And so he doesn't understand all that closeness and wanting to go to your mother's and have dinner once a week or something. He doesn't get it. So there's going to be sources of conflict there. This is not to say that he can't come over to your side, but I want you to be aware of the potential problem and address it. And if you see where there's a lot of pushback from his side, then you are going to have to understand either you're going to have to let your family go or you're going to have to let him go, and you pick which one. Number 8, you don't connect on a physical level. Now, people say, well, sex is only part of a relationship. That's true. It is. That's true. But we're also talking about other aspects of physical level. Some people like a lot of touching and out of bed affection and spooning in bed and little butt pats and sitting close together, sitting on the lap, holding hands when they walk, all this kind of stuff. If you like those kinds of things and those things make you feel loved and you have a mate who's pushing you away and now don't be doing all that. I don't be doing all that shit in public. You don't you know how to walk. You don't need to hold my hand. This kind of thing. You're gonna feel pretty awful in your relationship. Hopefully, though, this would be something that you would have found out in the early phases before you got to the quote relationship part, so that you would already known that this was not where you wanted to go. You got to be on the same page there. And then your sexual interests and frequency needs need to be on a par as well. So you have one who wants to do it, once a day and one who wants to do it once a month. Well, you're going to have a problem. There's going to be a conflict and there's going to be a lot of anger and frustration there. So you think, I mean, this is just something to think about. Just, one might want to do some real weird things that you're not comfortable with. You love the person and everything, but you can't see a lifetime of living like that, being pressured to do stuff like that. It just makes you feel like you just want to kill yourself or something. You let that go. You let him go and find somebody who's on that same page with him. No matter how much you might love him, that's not the man for you. Number 9, and this is a big one. They have anger management issues. These are the dudes that everything they fly off the handle. Everything is like a big deal. They want to punch holes in walls, throw shit, cuss people out. Everything he yells about everything instead of just talking in a normal tone of voice when you have a disagreement. It's like, oh my God, it's just like a battlefield all the time. He just cannot control his anger. He'll say all kinds of fucked up shit to you and then come back later. Oh, well, babe, I didn't mean it. I was just mad. I was just mad, babe. It's just okay. You're going to forgive me. And you might the first time. But I'm saying there's a certain, okay, in my younger days, I would have been more like you, more likely to say, well, it was just one time. The older me now knows that men show you who they are, and you better believe it when you see it the first time. So that's who he is. Okay, that's how he handles his anger. That's not going to change unless he gets his ass in an anger management program that's at least 18 months long with weekly sessions and homework things. They do like little assignments they have to do, self exploratory kind of things, and writing, journaling, and all this kind of stuff. Unless he's in a closely supervised program like that, then there's no hope for him. He's going to be that angry, wild, out of control dude for the rest of your relationship. And usually what happens is it starts with verbal, throwing shit and, stuff like that, punching holes and punching walls and punching fists into walls and whatnot. And then pretty soon he starts punching you and throwing you too. So this is something to pay attention to. Like I said, for me, as soon as they show me that side of them now, I'm done. It's like we're not even gonna explore what happened with you and why you like this. I don't give a fuck why you like this. All I know is you getting the fuck out of my face. That's all I know. You're not gonna be treating me like that. All right. And just if you find yourself being afraid of him, um, and afraid to say certain things or let him know certain things because you're afraid of how he's going to fly off the handle, that should be a signal to you that you have a man with anger management problems. Okay, that's not normal that you would feel like you needed to do all of that. All right. Number 10, he's not there when you need him. Now, I think a lot of women don't think about this. They always have plan B, C, D, and they might ask the guy to do it, but they have men who are so flaky and undependable, they're used to him not coming through. They're used to him making excuses. They're used to him abandoning them when they need him. Deb don't do that. Like I said, when I was younger, you try to give him that, you give him that one time. I would give him one shot. Because, I mean, shit does come up. I mean, occasionally, there is a valid reason why. Occasionally. But I'm talking about a pattern. And if you see that every time something happens where you need his presence, you need his energy, you need his support, you need his backup, he's not there. He's not trying to be there. He's on about his business doing what he wants to do and just leaves you to figure it out by yourself. Then what are you in a relationship for? How is that helping you? You know what I mean? How this I don't these women that be like, well, Girl, that's how he is though. I ask him to help me do stuff and he don't never do it. He just do it, I'll do it later, I'll do it later, I'll do it later. And then later never comes. See, you getting played, girlfriend. You getting played. And I don't know, like I said, every woman's tolerance level for this kind of stuff is going to be different. I'm presenting these things as what I think are some very important core foundational types of issues that you need to address early on when you first start dating a dude. And if he doesn't present these things in a way that shows he got your back, that he's going to be there for you when you need him, that he's going to be the kind of man that you can depend on, and he's not going to lie to you, he's not going to cheat on you, he's not going to be yelling at you and cussing at you, calling you names and beating your ass, he's not going to be using drugs and spending up money that running you all into debt, and or else being so cheap your refrigerator's broke, he just put the shit in the ice chest, stuff like that, instead of getting a new one or go buy some old used nasty thing or something like that. I mean, like I said, the money issue goes on both ends, but these are things that are so important, they're going to make your life miserable if you don't have them. And I think this is why so many women are miserable in their relationships, so unhappy. You see them walking around, their faces are long, they crying all the time, they can't sleep, they're stressed the fuck out because they have to do everything because their men just don't do shit and don't hold up their end of the relationship. I'm trying to get you guys to understand you cannot be in a relationship with a man like that. He doesn't deserve you. He does not deserve you. You got all this love to give and all the support and energy. You want to cook and clean and love the man up and have his babies and do all these things to take care of and nurture and enrich his life. What the fuck is he doing for you? And y'all don't be thinking like that. You don't think like that. You need to be more selfish. And they want to be asking you, well, what you bringing to the table? No, motherfucker, what you bringing to the table? What you gonna do for me that you make me want to drop my drawers and change my life and get stretch marks and shit to be with you? What you doing? What you got? You know what I mean? Oh, fuck these men. Women got to, be getting, I got to get tummy tucks and shit. They're having these big ass babies, big ass diabetes babies. These niggas be making. Yeah. But I mean, see, my thing is, I want you guys to think about this stuff earlier on. It's hard, I think, because a lot of women get into that. They like, oh my God, I'm in love. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's so wonderful. And, you all into lust mode and all this old stuff. So you're not thinking clearly. You in the I love, it's love. It's, you hear music and rainbows and harps and shit. So you turn your brain off and you're not really assessing these behaviors and attitudes the way that you need to until it's too late. Now you married to the motherfucker, you got 3 or 4 kids and a mortgage and a dog and all this shit to divide up. When all the shit he was already showing you all of these things early on, you were just in la la land with hearts and flowers and harps and shit, and you didn't pay attention. My goal is to get you to pay attention. Them diabetes babies be 12 pounds. Big ass babies and women be like all stretched out and stuff. Uh-uh. Lady Boss is so funny. I'm just saying, this shit irritates the fuck out of me. Just leaving the woman all abandoned by herself and stuff. Okay, let's move on to 11. I got two more. Number 11. You find out through this dating process that he's a selfish, narcissistic fuck who only cares about himself. Now, how does this demonstrate it? Everything's about him. Everything's about what he wants. Everything's about what he needs. Everything's about what he likes. Even it's like where you go to eat dinner. You want to go try this new hot spot you heard about. You read about it on Yelp. It's got 5 stars. Everybody's raving about it. Mongolian barbecue or something. I don't know. That just came to mind. This is him. What the fuck is that? I don't want to eat that shit. I don't like new stuff. I just want to go on over here where we always go. Okay, and you feel like if I eat at this motherfucking place one more time, I'm going to die. I'm going to die of boredom. I'm just going to fall out the chair onto the floor and just croak. That's how I feel about going to this place one more time. But what happens? He says he doesn't want to go. He wants to try what you want to try. And so you end up going there. Even as far as some women, like where they live. He wants to live. Remember, lady wrote in about that before. She wanted to live in a house so that she could have a yard and stuff. The boyfriend wanted to live in a high rise. So where do they live in a high rise? She wanted to have pets. He decided he didn't want a pet. So what do they have? No pets. I mean, she went on and on about how he just basically got everything that he wanted, and she's sacrificing everything that she liked and wanted would make her happy in order for him to be happy. See, now he would have had to move into that tower thing by himself. I don't like them things where you have to go up an elevator to get to your apartment. I don't like that. I like to enter my shit from the street. That is a rule that I have. I want to when I hit that door, I want to be seeing some street, some sidewalk, and then hopefully my car within short reach. I do not want to have to depend on going down no fire escape or going down no fucking elevator to get to my door to get out of this building. I do not. I will never, ever, ever live in a situation like that. I will not do it. I won't. And I don't want to be up any higher than the second floor too. See, I have all kind of rules. I'm not gonna be higher than the second floor. I want to be able to get out in case of any shit going down. And from the second floor, you could jump out the window. You might have a broken leg if it's a fire or something. You might break a leg or whatever, but your ass is gonna survive. You try to jump out the 20th floor and see what happens to you. Be like a puddle on the ground. I don't think so. So yeah, you got these dudes. You love him, you want him to be happy and all of that, but there should be some back and forth there. He's supposed to love you, want you to be happy too. So that's when that word compromise comes into play. It's supposed to be a little back and forth. Maybe he picks where you guys eat, but you pick the movie, or he picks the movie and you pick where you guys eat. I mean, there should be some exchange so that both people are participating in it and both people get some of what they want. That's what compromise is about. Does it apply to my jobs? No, no. I have worked in buildings that were up on the 20th floor, 23rd floor, I think. Yeah, but I'm talking about where I'm sleeping at night. When you sleep, you're vulnerable. You know what I mean? You're very vulnerable. And every time I hear about people dying in a fire, it's always some shit where they got stuck up on a high floor and couldn't get out. I didn't want that to be me. Okay, and then the very last one is what he makes as a priority. If other things and other people are more priority to him than you are, and you feel like you're always struggling for his attention, you always begging him for time, you always, you feel like you have to whine and like, oh, we never spend time together. I really want us to spend some time together. Why don't we go away for a weekend? You got to do all this kind of stuff like that to try to get him, pull him away from whatever it is that's so absorbing his royal highness. And he's like, like jumping at the chance to have some intimate private time alone with his woman. You got to kind of beg him for it. Don't you know if you got to start begging for him and you all just started dating, that's the high romance part of the relationship, right? If you already in that mode, please understand that the longer you go in the relationship, the worse it's gonna be. Pretty soon you're gonna be wondering where his fucking ass is. You're not even gonna see him. He's gonna be so into his own thing and you're gonna be all by yourself. So you better think about that and see everything that I've mentioned, these 12 points, if you ladies notice, has to do with you putting yourself first, your needs, prioritizing your needs in the relationship. It's nice that you have a guy that you like. It's lovely that you're all in love. It's wonderful that you all like fucking like bunny rabbits. It's great that everything is all passionate and wonderful and all this stuff. That's fun. That's great. Keep your brain operating though. Keep it on because you got to make them two cuts. You got to cut him if he's not meeting the first level things. And then if he made the first cut, okay, now he's at level two. That's still the assessment part, and you still it goes to different level of questioning and judgment. But you still need to be having your judgment cap on and thinking about what he's doing, how he's doing it, and how he's treating you, and how all of those things combined make you feel. If you feel in any way slighted, in pain, crying, lonely, suffering, angry, all of those kind of things, that's not the man for you. That's not the man for you. That is not the one for you. And so you need to accept that and stop trying to make it work and be like these girls said here, anything else can be worked on. No, it can't. You don't do that. Oh, you gonna Princess done retitled the show to 12 Ways to Spot and Get Rid of a Dusty. I just, So that's what I have to say about this. I've been holding this in for the whole Debruary. I've wanted to put this one earlier, but I thought I just saved it for, because some of the other shows, like the one we did last night, was kind of a precursor to this. So I'm trying to do this in some kind of sensible order. And so I said, well, I can't just jump out there and say it and then go back and do the other stuff. Let's do this in order. And so we did the zombie show first, pacing the relationship, getting to know someone very slowly, asking questions, taking your time, not rushing into anything, and then going on and on. So now we're at the point where you did that, right? You took your time and you know, you made sure that he earned his time with you. You're not a participation trophy woman, and you spent your time doing your vetting and whatnot, and now y'all in a relationship, and now these are the things that you have to be looking for to see if you should continue to see this guy or if he should be cut from the team. All right, and then tomorrow, what we got tomorrow is I'm going to talk about 15 character traits that I think women need to have. 15 character traits. It's probably more than that, but I'm trying to limit these things because there's so much content to give you in 30 days. Most likely, you guys are gonna have to go back and listen to some of these videos again because there's just so much information flying at you. I understand it can be kind of overwhelming. I do understand. I get it, but I want you to, at the end of this 28-day period, to be more educated, be more focused, to be more purposeful about how you handle not only your romantic lives, but your professional life as well as yourself and how you think about yourself and the choices that you make too. So our very final show is going to be 10 tips for living your best life. I want to round things out on a high note, and we're going to eradicate any and all mediocrity because I refuse to have mediocre ass broads in my chat. You can't do that. So you're going to come here, you're going to leave here like a G. Okay, everybody got to be G'd up by the time we finish this 28-day cycle of education for you. All right? And if you do have some ideas, you still, I mean, I have some topics that I have, but if you have an idea that you think might be really, really good, because you've seen a trend, right? You've seen a pattern of how this is going. You have an idea for something you think would follow suit and be really good to talk about. Just send it on in. Just email your ideas for topics to survivingdating@gmail.com. Be sure to make your subject line Debruary 2019. I have a folder, and anything with that subject is going into that folder. I get hundreds of emails a day, so you don't put that in there, I might not see it until June. I'm so serious. So put Debruary 2019 is the subject of your email, and then in the body, write whatever your ideas. And if you can, give me an example of what you're talking about. You just say the idea, I'm like, uh, I wonder what she's talking about. So try to give me an example of like of what you mean, something that happened, something you saw, something you read, and let me get it, be able to put it into context. Okay, that helps a lot. So I will see you guys all tomorrow right here, still at 4 p.m. We're going to be talking about the 15 strength of character traits that every woman, I think, needs to possess. This is day 9. We've completed day 9 of Video a Day Debruary here on the Debsterism Channel, streaming simultaneously on YouTube and Twitch. I will see you ladies tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here. Be sure to subscribe and share a link. Tell a friend. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.